My name's Randy James. I'm the founder and director of the Institute of Science and Technology at North Central High School. Kids are far more capable than we ever give them credit. We have $1 million worth of equipment, and we let them use it. You give them a place to play and do science for real. Instead of having to outsource engineers and scientists and mathematicians, we have kids right here. It takes a whole community to raise children. It really does. STCU invests in the community, and they're a longtime supporter of education. Collectively, we can make a huge difference. I'm Randy James, and STCU is here for good.
Welcome to Let's Talk Spokane, where host Ryan McNeese seeks out and discusses the latest on a variety of hot local topics. Now, here's your host, Ryan McNeese.
Hi there, I'm Pia Hallenberg. I'm not Ryan, it's quite obvious, I think. I'm usually with the Spokesman Review, but I'm here today at Spokane Talks Online to do a little segment with Laura Renz. Are you ready, ma'am?
I'm not ready.
I see a lot of paper flying around on the desk there. So Laura is with the Northwest Service Dog Alliance. It's a group that she started a couple of months ago, and we're here to talk about service dogs. So you have a service dog, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why? Can you tell me a little bit about why you need a service dog to begin with? Let's start there.
Well, usually you have one because you have some kind of a disability. In my case, I got hit by a car almost 5 years ago, broke a whole bunch of bones, and she helps me get around because of those physical limitations. A service dog is one that will help a disabled person mitigate a disability. They will be task trained to do those things.
So what are some of the things that she does for you? Does she help you get up from if you fall, or does she steady you, or what are some of the things that she does for you?
I have a German Shepherd also. He's getting older. Between the two of them, they can help on stairs, they can help on ice, they can help on unsteady ground. I can't bend down and get up off the ground comfortably, so if I drop something, I can use the dog to get down, pick it up, get back up comfortably.
Okay.
Basically retrieve dropped objects and get up out of a recliner, out of a chair. And if your back locks up, it's a lot easier with a dog.
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand that. So does it take a lot of training, or do you just kind of get a dog and then it just knows how to do things, or how does that work?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be great. I get a lot
just
of
get
people.
a nice German Shepherd, they know exactly what to do. No, tell me about the training, because I know a lot of training goes into a good service dog. Tell me about the process and how expensive that is.
Well, most people think you can just literally get a vest and make your dog a service dog. That's not how it works. Just the public access part, which is being able to take your dog out in public, takes a good year of solid, steady work. And that means working every day. I work with the trainer 3 days a week. And I did a lot of that myself. And that took me a full year. And that's with a lot of dedication. The animals that are trained by the organizations usually take about 18 months. 18 months? Yes.
Wow.
And that includes the task training. The task training with mine was fairly easy because they had that inherent ability. So about a year to a year and a half to really train a real actual service animal.
So a task could be open a door, open the fridge, picking stuff up, retrieving things you drop. Are those tasks? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just so people kind of know what we're talking about. So it takes a long time, huh? And I'm assuming these are not just any kind of dog. They have to kind of be they have to be purebred, or they have to come from a breeder, or does that matter?
They can be any dog. They have to have the right temperament. The dogs, like a guide dog for the blind or any of the program dogs, canine companions, those dogs have so many more talents that they do. The dogs for veterans, through the programs that they offer, they do so many things. It's not just like my dog is for mobility, but they offer so many other things that they do for these disabled people. Hearing,
alerting to certain things, medical conditions, that kind of thing. Okay. So why did you start the Service Dog Alliance? I mean, I find that kind of fascinating. I guess I thought there maybe was an alliance out there or something, but what got you started? Why did you start the alliance? What happened?
I trained a beautiful German Shepherd to replace my original German Shepherd, and he got reactive.
What does that mean?
It wasn't anything major, but he started barking at people or other dogs.
Oh, so they can't bark?
No, not. No. He has a big bark. It's scary.
He's a big dog. I've met him.
Huge.
He's very big.
I tried to work it out of him, and he just decided after getting attacked by other dogs several times, not like big fight attacks, but enough that it shut him down. He doesn't want to work.
He gets nervous. He gets
irritated,
crabby. Just like crappy,
Yeah.
just like we would get crappy if somebody's poking at us all the time.
It's like swearing.
Right? It's like swearing. Okay,
It's his version.
it's his version of swearing. Okay,
So I trained this sweet dog, and my last
she's right
straw.
here, by the way,
She's down
but
there. You can't see
we
her.
can't
'cause
see her.
she's
So and we're
quiet.
not talking to her because she's such a good dog. She's so well trained. Anyways, go ahead.
We got attacked at Costco, and I only mentioned Costco's by name. I normally would not.
No.
But I did reach out to them. I did speak to the manager. I did speak to corporate, and it was not resolved.
So tell me briefly what happened that day at Costco.
We were minding our own business, shopping, and there was about a 30-pound dog in a baby stroller that launched out, and it got within probably about 6 inches of my dog before I noticed it. And it caught in its chain, wrapped around its back leg, slammed to the ground, broke its leg.
Oh,
It
so it was like tied to the stroller.
Yeah.
Oh,
By a chain, and it didn't actually get my dog, but it scared the living bejesus out of me. I shook for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
My dog didn't move.
No.
Everybody freaked out and yelled at me, and my dog didn't do anything.
No,
So I went and talked to the manager when I calmed down, and they said, "There's nothing we can do." The guy said it's a service dog. And I'm like, but that behavior doesn't compute.
No, because if it was a real service dog, it would never bark. It would never jump up at anybody.
No.
It would never interact with anybody, right?
It was such a loud noise. It just, it growled and snarled and just shot out like a cannon. And it scared the heck out of me. It really did.
Yeah.
And so actually, one day, not long after that, you convinced me to speak up at a city council meeting.
I did. That's true. Because you called me.
I didn't
That
know
is
what to
true.
do. And
No.
it was the first time I ever spoke in public. And I addressed the city council. I addressed the downtown city council after that. And I told them if they could change the name of a national holiday, they could do something about this. And they did.
Yeah. So, so back to the issue really is that there are people who bring dogs into stores and other establishment, doctors' offices, hospitals, as we just saw in the paper today, and those dogs are not trained.
No.
Right? And so the dogs that are not trained to be service dogs they can irritate you. Let's say irritate. They can irritate the real service dog so much that you can't use a real service dog anymore.
No, two guide dogs for the blind people had to be pulled in a 6-month period just a few months ago because of that. And think of a blind person walking down the street, how terrifying that must be for them. And now those two people have no guide dog because their dog shut down after one instance.
Yeah, they just can't do it.
So I got mad and I said, I'm going to do something about it. It's not just me. If this happens to me, imagine how many other people go through this. So here we are.
Did you find good support in the community? I know you started a Facebook page
Yes.
and
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been overwhelming. I've got 2 more people that are helping out. The support has been fantastic. I have met with nothing but positive support and people that want to help. They agree. They said it's terrible abuse, and we are meeting community leaders left and right that are giving us great directions.
So you took, I know you spoke at the Spokane Valley City Council, but you also took your presentation to the Spokane City Council, right?
Yes.
And what happened in Spokane?
It took a while. Councilman Mike Fagan had 4 open public forums. He also lets us use the downtown city hall once a month for our meetings with the Northwest Service Dog Alliance. And 2 weeks ago, they passed ordinance number C35485, something like that, that now makes it an actual misdemeanor to misrepresent a service animal. So it is an actual regulation
Very
now.
nice.
So it is.
So it's an ordinance.
Yeah, it's a first step of success.
Very nice. Very nice. And so you're hoping that Spokane Valley will do the same thing at some point or something similar.
Very much so.
It's different. The process out there is different. We don't have to get into that, but you're hoping it would be nice if they would do the same thing, right?
I would like to see the whole state.
The whole state do the same
That's our
thing.
goal, is to
Okay.
get the whole state on board, and it's a much bigger endeavor than I anticipated.
Yeah. So now let's tiptoe a little closer to one of the more difficult issues, right? Because if there's an ordinance that says it's not legal, you cannot misrepresent represent a service. If it's not a service animal, you cannot pretend it's a service animal. If there's an ordinance and it's an actual misdemeanor, that means you could technically get a ticket if you did it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the big problem, I think, for lots of people to understand is what exactly makes a service dog a service dog. Because, like I just shared with you, I met a service dog yesterday that was a small dog and was carried around in a blanket. And I said hello to the dog because I like dogs. And I said to the guy, so how does she help you? And he said, she licks me on my nose when I get out of control. Now, it was very clear to me that he had some kind of mental, he was not completely well. So it's possible that he was diabetic. It's possible that he had epilepsy. I had epilepsy. I really don't know. But that was what the service dog did. So is that, what is a service dog?
That sounds more like an emotional support animal. There's 3 types. The therapy dogs are dogs that are trained and they go to facilities to give therapy to patients in rehabs. Emotional support animals, they don't have public access rights, but they do what you witnessed. They give emotional support, and really, honestly, pretty much any pet would do that. Yeah. But they're pets.
Yeah.
A service dog, honestly, there's no set amount of training, which is where it's tough. This dog that you see here had half the training.
We don't see here because she's trained and she's not interacting with anybody right now. Yeah.
But it took half the time to train her as it did my German Shepherds. Everyone's different.
Yeah, she just gets it. Yeah.
But they have to be trained to mitigate a disability. So first off, you actually have to have a disability. And if you're not sure if you have one, you probably don't. That's simple. If the only thing your dog does for you is
like make
lick
you
your
feel
face,
good and lick your face.
And
get a ball.
An injury is not a disability. Any one of my injuries is not a disability, but all 5 of them together.
Yeah, because you were in a horrible accident. So,
it wasn't fun.
No, it was not fun. Okay.
But the service dog will mitigate the disability for the handler and have a high level of obedience, but the ADA doesn't specify that. So that's where it comes into play. They're seen and not heard like a well-behaved child should be. How's that going?
That was a good one. It's not going
Isn't
so well
funny?
for me.
But a dog can alert you with a bark or a growl. It can alert its handler, but it can't be out of control. It can't lunge. It can't be a jerk.
No, it can't be a jerk. And it can't irritate people around it and try to get attention and all that.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a little break here. And then after the break, we'll talk about how you get around with your dogs and what are some of the things you're trying to do with the Service Dog Alliance to help us all understand a little bit better what a service dog is and what it's not.
Thank you.
For the Inland Northwest most comprehensive sports report, think outside the porch with Spokesman.com. For just 99 cents for the first month, you'll enjoy unlimited digital access to the news and sports news that affect you most. From EWU to WSU, from Northwest Preps all the way to the Seahawks, we're the local authority that makes sports in the Inland Northwest different than the rest, better than the rest. On your phone, on your desktop, and on your tablet. Subscribe to the digital experience with Spokesman.com.
My name's Randy James. I'm the founder and director of the Institute of Science and Technology at North Central High School. Kids are far more capable than we ever give them credit. We have $1 million worth of equipment, and we let them use it. And you give them a place to play and do science for real. Instead of having to outsource engineers and scientists and mathematicians, we have kids right here. It takes a whole community to raise children. It really does. STCU invests in the community, and they're a longtime supporter of education. Collectively, we can make a huge difference. I'm Randy James, and STCU is here for good.
You hear us say it.
We are tracking breaking news in Spokane County where
We're talking exclusive.
I want to be the survivor and someone that reaches out and helps other people.
These stories you'll only see here.
Live family say because he is off the streets.
This interview.
What is it like being a teenager nowadays?
This investigation. This moment for the first time.
I hope our apartment doesn't burn down.
We don't just cover breaking news, we own it.
Pretty scared, thought we weren't going to make it through.
KHQ Local News, right now.
Okay, we're back on Spokane Talks Online. I'm Pia Hallenberg. I'm filling in for a bit here today, and my guest is Laura Renz. She's the president, the CEO of the Northwest Service Dog Alliance, and we're here to talk about service dogs. What is a service dog? What is not a service dog? How can you tell? And if you have any, if you meet a dog, in a situation where it doesn't act service dog-like, is there anything you can do? And so I thought maybe we should start talking about, there are some restrictions, of course. If I have a normal, just a pet dog, I can't take him into Safeway. I can't take him into a bar. I can't take him into a restaurant. I can't take him anywhere where there's like food or people being served food or anything like that.
Everyone else does.
Well, lots of people do, but, and my dog would stay on the floor. But anyways, so what are some of the health concerns? I mean, because let's start with that. So you bring a dog into, I have an example. Let me give an example. So a friend of mine was at Costco the other day. Oh, we're picking at Costco. She was at Costco. There was a woman with a Great Dane with a service dog thing on it, so it looked like a service dog. And she was feeding the Great Dane food samples from the tables. The little where we all eat dinner, like when we go to Costco. She was feeding the Great Dane food samples.
That's just rude.
Is that okay? Like
No.
service dog behavior? If it was a service dog, you would never do that, would you?
No.
No.
I don't.
Okay.
Well, first off, you really shouldn't feed a dog people food, but that's the owner's choice. But that's really bad manners, and it sets a terrible example.
And if you're at a restaurant with your service dog, you can't have your service dog sit up in the booth, right?
No, the booths are for people, and I actually looked that up, and that is the health code. It says the chairs in restaurants are for people.
Okay.
A service dog goes under the table. You can probably put them in the aisle if they're out of the way, but you don't want people tripping on them. You want to be seen and not heard.
No. So a service dog is on the floor.
Yes.
So when you see a dog sitting on a chair, I saw this at another establishment the other day, being fed pizza, with his little thing on, then that is not service dog. That's not how you move around the community with a service dog, right?
You get the manager and you ask the manager why that's taking place, and that's a good opportunity to use what we call creating yeses. You positively educate the managers, because a lot of times they just don't know. A lot of times you can carry a small dog in a chest pack if it's a diabetic alert dog, but that's really the only exception. A service dog of any size should work from the floor.
From the floor.
If I can't carry my 100-pound dog, you can't carry your 2-pound dog. It's common sense.
So they shouldn't be riding in grocery carts either, right?
No, it's a health code violation, and it's gross.
Okay, all right. So what is it that happens? Business owners are reluctant to talk about this because they don't want the confrontation.
Right.
They don't want to be known as a place where you can't take your service dog. They want to be welcoming. I know there are some grocery chains, and we keep talking about grocery stores, but that's where you see a lot of them, like Rose Hours, for instance. Right. All their stores have a big sign at the front door that explains this is what a service dog is. This is, you're welcome. Your service animal is welcome, but your pet is not welcome. And it seems reasonable to me, right?
Exactly.
But so the real problem is that there's no test, that a service dog doesn't have to pass a test.
No. The problem's twofold. It's the regular people.
That's what makes it hard. Well, it's okay to talk about that, because it's what people don't understand or misunderstand, I guess, right?
Well, it's the people that have the dogs that don't understand what a true service dog is and what goes into the training. And it's the rest of the businesses that don't understand what their rights are.
So what are the businesses' rights? What can they say?
They can ask if it's a service dog required because of a disability. And generally you can tell by looking at the dog by its behavior. I never get asked. Nobody ever asks me.
No, because your dogs are supremely well behaved.
But I don't look disabled. That's what's so funny.
No. Yeah, that's true.
So it's a behavioral issue. And when I do if I were to get asked, I would follow it up with, yes, my dog is trained to do such and such. Because that's the second question. Is this dog required because of a disability? What tasks or work is the dog trained to perform?
Yes.
Not what service, not what does the dog do.
No.
You ask that. And that way, when they answer that second question, that's how you find out if it's a service animal. Not, I have anxiety, it's not about you. It's about what that dog does.
Okay.
And if they don't answer that question, they can be excluded.
So I can hear a person with anxiety.
Correct.
Say, well, I got a dog. The dog makes my life so much better. I got a little dog because I live in an apartment. When my dog is in my arms, I feel confident and much better. So, but that doesn't make the dog a service dog, right?
Nope. The dog has to do work for you. And
Okay.
that's an emotional support animal, and they're very important. They really are.
Yeah.
They do a lot of help for you, and they are important to your life, but it's not a service animal.
Okay.
A service animal will do a task. Now, if they can redirect you, a lot of the dogs for post-traumatic stress, you see it a lot with the veterans dogs that have come out.
Yeah.
They will redirect. If a veteran is standing in line, the dog will get between him and somebody else.
Oh.
If they start to have a panic attack, the dog will lead them out of the store. So when that person's having a panic attack or PTSD issue, that dog will do something for that person.
And take the person out of the way.
He doesn't just pet the dog and say, oh, I'm getting better now.
No.
The dog will do something.
Okay, I see.
So there's a huge difference between...
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big.
I think that's why it's so confusing, and also that I share custody over a fairly well-behaved dog. He's adopted. Actually, I believe he probably had some training. And online you can buy a thing that says he's a service dog, working dog. It's just really, it seems like it's very complicated to navigate that whole thing. And I know that people get upset, if you question their rights to bring the dog into the establishment, right?
They do, and it's too bad. It really is.
Yeah, because we just have to have the conversation somehow.
And that's the hard part is if the businesses would do their part, they're going to make some people mad. But honestly, if you have a real service dog, most of us are very proud of the work that our dogs do. It's a big endeavor, and I'm thrilled to death. I mean, it's not a stupid pet trick, but sometimes I'll show people what she does. Yeah. And my friend with a dog trained by Canines for Independence, she'll say, "Oh, oops, I dropped something," and the dog will pick a penny up off the floor.
Yeah, and give it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're trained that way.
And it keeps the dogs on task by doing the things.
I think some of the one of my pet peeves is that I see the smaller dogs at grocery stores. I see them in line at the deli. I see them where the soup pots are out, and so the dog is under one arm and the soup is in the other hand. I see them at the vegetables.
They can't do that.
Hold frou while I get the cucumbers, and it just kind of, it irks me a little bit. So anyways, but you set out to do this in a positive manner, right? You're like, we're going to do
this. It's really difficult. I can tell you, creating yeses is very hard.
I just got chewed up on Facebook all night, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw that.
But you want to do this in a positive manner. Tell me about some of the things you do. How can people find you? Let's start there.
The easiest way right now, we do have some web pages, Northwest Service Dog Alliance. But we have 2 Facebook pages right now. One is a fan page that's open to the public. The other is a closed group, and we have it closed so we don't have trolls. Yeah. There's Facebook trolls.
Yeah, there are. And they're nasty. And they'll eat your time. They will eat your time up, let me tell you.
They're so weird.
Yeah,
and they know everything.
Are angry. People are angry, and they know everything, and they want a forum.
We don't want just service dog handlers in our group. We want service dog handlers. We want you. We want him. We want everybody, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a thought, an idea. Yeah. We met a lady yesterday that has nothing to do with dogs or anything else, and we got some great ideas. Yeah. So we want everybody's input so that we can make this work, because we're a community effort.
Yeah. So people can find you on Facebook as the Northwest Service Dog Alliance.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then you said you had some meetings here in Spokane?
We have the last Friday of every month. Right now we're using the downtown City Hall.
Okay.
We usually have the meetings from 4 to 5:30. Okay. But I'm there at 3 o'clock to answer questions, because it gets a lot of questions.
So the last Friday of every month at Spokane City Hall over on
Spokane Falls Boulevard.
Spokane Falls Boulevard. And you said you're there at 3 o'clock downstairs where the city council chambers are?
Yeah, and service dogs are welcome. Okay. We've had a few emotional support animals, and service dogs in training are another issue. They have no rights.
Oh, because they're not done yet.
Right. And the thing is, though, is if you go in and you say, hello, I have a service dog in training, may I proceed? Nobody's told you no. No. It's all in the approach. If you approach it right now, if you want to go, this is my service dog in training.
I want to do this.
Yeah, the businesses assert their rights because they don't like your attitude.
No.
If you go in, I have never once been turned down access with any of my 3 dogs. No. And that's why. It's because... hard as it is, you have to
go
put on
ask.
a smile and you ask nicely.
Yeah. Okay.
And it works.
Yeah. So back to the meeting. I just want to make sure people get this. So last Friday of the month, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll be at the City Hall, Spokane City Hall.
Yeah, meeting starts
and
at 4.
And the meeting starts at 4. And you just kind of have a little agenda, talk about things, programs you're putting on, things you're trying to do, and you're open for questions if people have questions about what to do with their service dogs and businesses, I'm assuming, right?
And guest speakers.
And
we
guest
had
speakers.
Human Rights Commission last time.
Oh,
we have
good.
Councilman Fagan. We always make him come because he's the one that helped me with all this. We had a trainer one time. We have a couple of trainers that have joined our group. That
very cool.
You know, we have training tips. We did some demonstrations. We had cookies last time. They were good, let me tell you.
No, that's
really
very cool. And I would assume as you get going that you would also maybe invite some businesses to come and talk to you about some of the issues they have, right?
In fact, we had the manager from Perkins last time.
Oh, you did?
I had lunch with Mike Fagan before the meeting, and there was a waitress asking us about service dogs because she didn't know I had one. And she told us about the dog on the table getting fed, and we ew and grossed, and gave her some information, and she brought the manager over, sent him over. We had no idea because the lady said, "Oh, it's okay, it's my service dog. I can do anything I want."
Yeah. Wow.
No, you can't.
No. That's also well, anyway, it's just a complicated issue, but it sounds like you're making some headway, and you're trying to get Spokane Valley to pass an ordinance or help you support it somehow as well, right?
Yeah, and it's, everything, it's going to take a long time. We've only been at this for a few months. We did incorporate. We do have a nonprofit organization status.
Good.
One of our meetings, everywhere we go, we meet a new community leader. We met a lawyer who is willing to help us get a 501c3 and apply for the grant to get it because the funding, we can't afford the funding.
No.
And it's just great. We had an Access for All meeting. We had a Eastern Washington University Disability Studies project. So we've got some students that are helping out.
Wow.
And
that has just really taken off. It's
overwhelming.
only been a couple of months.
It's overwhelming. And
was it December maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when people
December.
call us and they say, "Hey, I have a problem at such and such a business. Can you help me?" Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What can we do for you?
Yeah.
And they tell us what happened. And, we either educate them as to how to proceed better, or we go and talk to the business.
Talk to the business about,
most of the time, they just don't know.
So before we run out of time completely, what are some tips about how the rest of us should be around service dogs?
Don't pet them, please. Don't grab them and go, "Oh my God, how do I make my dog a service dog? They're so cute." Oh,
don't pet them, right? I mean,
if you ask if you want to pet my dog, I'm going to say, "Sure, can I pet your husband?"
Yeah.
And
I love it when you say that.
Sometimes it goes over okay, and sometimes people get mad. But seriously, it's all in the behavior, and
but really, you should treat the service dog as if it was just part of the furniture, right?
Yeah.
Don't pet, don't fawn, don't go, "Ooh, Gucci, don't just."
Part of the thing is if it's a dog for a psychiatric issue, the people don't want the extra attention.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay.
And
all right.
don't be afraid to call out a fraud.
No.
Go tell the manager or call the person out on the behavior.
Tell the manager and say, "Hey, something's not right here." Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Laura.
Well, thanks for having me.
I think we're just about done, and you can find the Northwest Service Dog Alliance on Facebook if you're interested in any of these issues. And we'll just thank you for coming in here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's Talk Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Ask us a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Thanks for listening.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.